Hi, this is Lee from the Law School Toolbox and the Bar Exam Toolbox. Welcome back for another update on the wild world of the California bar experiment. Been a week, a little over a week. We have a lot to talk about.
Well, exciting times. And I would like to note for the record, it is my absolute least favorite day of the year in San Francisco because the Blue Angels have just started flying directly over my house. So if you hear a really loud sound that sounds like we're under attack, that's what that is.
It's true.
Sorry.
Every year we have this exact same conversation.
Yeah, every year around like 12. I think today it was around 1 because of the fog. I'm like, oh gosh, the Blue Angels are back. And
Here they
Thursday's
come.
the worst day because you just go around and around. They're not like doing anything. They're just buzzing the city. Yeah, I really hate it. I will go on the record as saying I cannot stand the Blue Angels.
Yes, I was at a callback interview at a law firm in a skyscraper downtown on Blue Angels Day, and one flew by the window when I was talking to someone in an interview. It was really disconcerting.
Yeah, I remember sitting in my office downtown and one flew sideways right next to me.
Yeah, that's what happened.
And I'm like, how is this safe?
I know.
How is
it
this
really
safe?
Doesn't feel safe.
Like, no, it really doesn't. I mean, I know they're good at what they do, but still. Mistakes happen.
It's true. Well, while we have been waiting for the Blue Angels to arrive, the California bar seems to have been busy or not. It depends on who you ask. Last week, the California bar held a Q&A, I think it was last Wednesday, for exam takers and people who had questions about the California bar experiment. Did you miss it? If so, tough. They didn't record it or publish a transcript or anything like that. So sorry, you just don't get that information. Hopefully they include it in the FAQs at some point.
Yeah, so the FAQs have been updated. What are some big, I think the deadline coming up is probably like one of the biggest things.
Yes.
Because if you want to register, that would be October 13th, end of day.
Yes. So sign up now if you want the option to participate. It's the same deadline for applying for accommodations. It doesn't sound like they're going to be graceful if you miss this deadline. So get your application in if you want to have an option. Well, here are some of the things that we have heard about. It is still unclear if everyone who wants to participate in the experiment will be able to do so. On one hand, the FAQs make it sound like there's not enough room, but what I'm hearing from the Q&A was that everyone's probably going to be able to participate. So there's still uncertainty, which everybody really loves in bar prep land, but that's all the more reason to just sign up as soon as possible if you want the option to participate. Other new news is the test is 49 questions that are designed to take 90 minutes to answer, and they assume the whole experience will be around 2 hours. They expect to notify people if they're going to be able to participate around October 21st. So that's not really all that far from the actual dates of the exam, which are November 8th and 9th. So don't wait to find out to start preparing. I think you have to assume that you'll probably be able to participate and start preparing earlier than that if you really want to get above this, imaginary threshold that they are going to set to be able to possibly get these extra points. Other interesting nuggets, out-of-state applicants are going to be allowed to sit for the exam, but clearly they have to sit for remote exams. Attorney applicants can sit for the exam, but if they're taking the attorney's exam, which is the one-day California exam, then the score boost may not apply. So one would wonder why you'd want to do it, but
because they will not apply.
Yeah, will not apply. Yeah, very true.
Yeah. So yeah, just a reminder, this one you get extra points on the MBE later. And then if you do the one on the actual bar, you would can potentially, if it's approved by the state Supreme Court, which they haven't done yet, you would potentially get points on the essays.
Yeah.
So
there is going to be no change to the passing score for February. So the 1390 is still the goal for everyone. There were other kind of questions about the fact, could you get 2 score bumps if you do part 1 and part 2, which I respect, trying to collect as many points as possible.
Seriously?
Wow, that's really, really loud.
We're not crazy about.
No, we're not. Okay. So there are not 2 possible score bumps. You're not going to be able to get like 80 extra points. No, You're going to be able to get 40 or 40, maybe, if the Supreme Court says so. So, but don't think that you can do both and boost your score by 80 points. That does not seem to be in the cards.
I wonder, though, if you could get like 20 on one part and 20 on the
Oh
other
my
for a
gosh.
total of 40. Was that it? I wonder if that was addressed.
I mean, I didn't see it in the FAQs today.
Okay.
So I don't know. That seems to be too mathematical for what's happening here. Oh. Other things, there's no handwriting option. And I think that it seems pretty clear that the state bar does not want to have to offer any sort of handwriting option anymore, based on the choices that they're making. So I think that if I was planning to sit for the full bar and had considered handwriting, I would be very wary of assuming that that's going to be an option. The experiment is not handwritten, which maybe doesn't seem like that big of a deal for exam takers. But I think like answering questions on a page versus answering questions on a computer is very different. So you need to be aware of the format in which they're delivering this exam. And you have to make sure that you're practicing taking questions like on Adapt2Bar UWorld, like on the computer to try and mimic what you're going to see in an exam room. So no handwriting. It seems like the testing provider is going to be Measure Learning, which has these like learning centers or these test-taking centers all around. So you can try and see if there are any close to where you live. If not, you'll want to sign up for one of the remote options. I guess this is who they're planning on contracting with for the full bar exam. I don't know. Doesn't seem to...
Measure with a Z.
Yes, Measure with a Z. It's important to know that you have to have stable internet. So if you don't have stable internet, you need to go to one of these Measure Learning, Measure with a Z. Measure, do we say it differently?
I don't know.
I don't know. You need to go to one of these remote testing centers if you do not have stable internet. And we remember from the COVID days that was problematic. If folks did not have stable internet, the software can really freak out. When you sign up for these sessions, they're going to be between normal business hours, which are 9 to 4. And I guess you're going to have options throughout the day. So just plan accordingly. And this is interesting. People who are waiting for bar results, which come out on November 8th, can still sit for the experiment. So I remember my bar results day. I went to work. I wouldn't say I was calm. I would say I was pretty nervous. And I think I left work early and went to a movie to just pass the time till 6 o'clock. And they published the results. I don't know if I would have wanted to take a practice bar exam experiment. Would you have? Oh, there are the planes again.
No. Yeah, here they are.
I know.
This is what we deal with for literally 3 straight days. No, I mean, yeah, I was the same. I remember leaving the office. Like, I went home. Some people waited in the office to get their results. I said, I do not want to be there if I get bad news. I want to be at my house and not talk to anybody for a few days. But yeah, I can't imagine it would be super fun to recreate your bar experience on the day you're getting your test results.
I think I would be really...
Or the day after. I mean, imagine if you get them on the night. I mean, I guess if you get them... You're supposed to do it on the 9th, and you find out you pass. I guess you can just fail and not show up. But have you found out you failed, and then you have to do that again the next day? I mean, people are not going to do well on that.
No, that's a dark day. That day is for grieving. That day is not,
not for taking the MBE again.
No. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So think about that if you're waiting for bar results. They also note that this program is really designed for people who are going to take the bar in 2025, not 2026. So I guess if you're like a 2L, not really for you.
No, and I noticed that you had to already be signed up, like with an applicant account and all that to even apply for the experiment.
Yes. Signups for phase 2 are not available now. They will likely be released in the spring when you can sign up for the full bar around March 1st. So just plop that on your calendar if you're thinking about phase 2. This was my favorite part is I have this dream of what this email address looks like. So the bar created an email address called experimentalexam@calbar.ca.gov, where someone is answering your questions. For the California bar experiment, there were 300 unanswered questions at the Q&A. So I can only imagine what this inbox looks like, but it exists.
I feel like it's like Santa's like workshop. They're just like
know.
typing frantically, trying to type out answers to everyone.
I know. See, in my dream, I would think that there was some AI tool doing auto responses, but that is way too progressive. for the Cal Bar. I do not think they are using AI to efficiently answer questions.
I don't know. Well,
I
on the
we
good
can
news front,
guess.
it appears Kaplan's, you said, not selling any more California bar prep online.
Yeah, that just happened a few days ago. So I'm so glad to see that the last time we had this update, when I was almost allowed to buy, I was going to be allowed to buy it. You wouldn't let me do it, but I could have bought a California bar prep program. Apparently, that is no longer possible. Thanks, Kaplan, for holding up your end of the multi-million-dollar contracts that you received from the California bar.
All right. Well, fun times.
Uh-huh.
And at this point, we don't know if the scoring adjustment is going to be approved. So that's all still a little bit TBD. Hopefully they'll figure that out before November 8th, but who knows?
Yeah, I guess
That's less than 1 month from now.
they resubmitted everything to the Supreme Court and said, please, pretty please, will you let us do this?
Yeah.
So I guess we'll see. But regardless, if you want to do this experiment at the beginning of November, you're less than a month out, I would start studying.
Right. And make sure you have applied in the next few days.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's this week's update. We're going to go back to listening to the planes fly over our office. And please leave us any questions you have in the comments to this video. Please subscribe, because I'm sure we will be back with more updates. And, let us know if you have any thoughts on this. We'd love to hear from you.
All right. See you, everybody.
Bye. If you enjoyed this video, please take a second to give us a like and leave a comment. And be sure to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any future content.